Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to Ufa, Bashkortostan, here in the middle of Russia. We're 2 hours by aeroplane from Moscow. Now I know how much everybody loves the apartment tours that I've been doing on the channel, and I thought today I'd take you for a walk around an apartment in this building right behind me here. We're going to go for a walk around and see what a typical family apartment looks like in Ufa, but just have a look at all of the new apartments right here. They're still building them off in the distance. The building we're going to go look at has been here for 2 years, and then also just finished and opened is a brand new shopping center. So we're going to go and have a look at the apartment building right here and go and check it out. There's also a pretty neat children's park that we're going to go see as well. So let's head on over there, shall we? So the building we're going to go and see is actually called Biosphere. Now all these different apartment buildings nearby have all got different names according to the developers who created them. Now if you were to come here 3 years ago, there was nothing in this part of Ufa. This is all brand new developments. There's still buildings getting finished, and the shopping center is newly opened as well. But this is sprung up in the last 3 years, and there's some pretty impressive buildings. The one we're actually going to go to is 25 levels, but the apartment's on level 15. So let's get across the road and check it out. After navigating my way across the road from the shopping center, I thought we'd take a brief walk around the building and have a look at some of the stores that are already in place. Actually, across the way in the other building, there is a yoga center, which is really nice. Where I live in Moscow region, we don't have a yoga center in any of the apartment buildings. And when you get up close to the building, what's immediately noticeable is the sheer size of it. Now this of course is 25 levels, so it's a big building, and it's a U shape, so it doesn't look as big from here, but once you're in the main courtyard, you can really see how large it is. Now we won't walk in every shop, but at least a couple of them I will. This is Krasnobyle, which is a beer and wine shop, and open 9 till 10 p.m. every day. And you'll see inside there, nice and stocked. Now I've done videos of Krasnobyle before on the channel. If you want to check out one of those, there's a link to see another one where I live. They're not too different around Russia, it just depends on the store layout. So this apartment building also has 7 entrances, and each of them has a concierge, or somebody at the door. So if you don't have your key, or you're want to let somebody else in, they can come and open the door for you, which is very nice. And it's got a little bit of a split level to walk around here. The other store right next door is called Everyday, and of course these stores are open every day, 8 a.m. till 11 p.m. And this store is kind of a convenience shop with a little bit of everything. You've even got pastries, tea and coffee, and there is nothing you can't find even in these little stores. Walking around the back of the building, there is this big mound of dirt right here, and this is going to be a school, which is super convenient for all of the families that have moved into these buildings since they've opened. It's still a way off. It's probably about a year till it'll be finished. There's a lot of site works that need to go on to get that up to scratch. And we're going to walk around the back section here, and we're going to find a couple more stores, because I just think it's interesting to see what's immediately here versus having to get in a car or a bus and go to a shopping center. There's one more convenience store. Now we actually came to this one last night because it was open till midnight. We went out for dinner and came back late, and there happens to be another convenience store in the same building. And this again has a bit of everything, and kind of similar to the other one, just a slightly different assortment. And it seems like cats are welcome here. It's probably a little bit hard to see, but off in the distance beyond where the school will be, they're also building a brand new sports center, which is very nice. There'll be a swimming pool. There's actually stadium seating there. They're also going to have things like gymnastics and karate and different sports. Now, if you're not happy with all the convenience stores in the building where we're going to go and see, there is Fasol across the way. We actually have a Fasol in the building where we live in Moscow. And again, have a look at these very big towers. And on the third side of the building, there's another store, which is a convenience shop as well. Actually doubles also as a pharmacy. It's got a little bit of everything in that store. Ozon is a pickup point for online shopping. So where you don't have something delivered to your address, you can use this as a pickup point. And you'd come in here and pick up whatever goods you've shopped for online. These are all over Russia. Almost in every building there's at least one. And we've also come to this store as well in the last few days. This is a fruit and veg store. And watermelons are in season. Have a look how big these are. These are massive. And he's also got some dried fruits and nuts. And then Здравствуйте. And also lots of other seasonal fruit and vegetables. So the key when you're coming to Russia is try to buy whatever is the current seasonal item. So watermelons and melons are the current seasonal item, and these will give you the best value. But if you want something out of season, he also has other fruits and vegetables. There's mangoes there and grapes and just some other general things. This is more of a fruit and veg store than a convenience store. Being that this is a new building, there is a few unique features of this apartment building which are not necessarily in all the buildings. Now, the one thing that's very common in all buildings throughout Russia is the way to get into the apartment. Now, I've actually got the tag in my hand here, but you can actually put in the apartment number right here. There is also a camera, so you can actually set up the camera on the apartment side as well. And there is also the concierge button here to call the lady at the door here. And someone just came in behind me, so I'm just going to put the tag right there. The door is open, and we can head on in. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes just having a look at this. The one thing that's kind of neat right here, okay, they are suggesting to put prams here, but all of the people that live in this corridor of the building can park their bikes and scooters right here, rather than having them on their landing where they live or in their apartment. You can leave them downstairs and come and grab your bike. I just walked past the letterboxes right there. Now, I think the lady is not here. That's normally at the entrance. This is the lady who takes care of this part of the building. She's also responsible for all the cleaning of this area and as you come on inside. Now, to go to the apartment, we'd actually go around to the left and up the elevators. But what we want to do is go down a floor and go check out the children's play area, because this is very neat. Of course, if you just want to get to the tour of the apartment, you can skip ahead. But I think showing the whole territory and the whole building is kind of prevalent for this new building in this city. We are actually 1,500 kilometers from Moscow, and I just want to show you what a typical Russian apartment in this region looks like. I almost forgot to talk about the parking. Now, there is street parking that we saw around the building. Can get a little bit hectic because everybody in all the different buildings shares that same outdoor area. But this particular building also has private lower ground floor parking. This is -2 level. This is actually the corridor also that you can park the car for where we're going to go see the apartment. And then there is a direct elevator right to your door. Being underground isn't my favorite place to be in these buildings, so let's continue on out to the courtyard and this very amazing playground. And it's really built for children and families, and this whole apartment block is dedicated really to families as well, and just the conveniences of being close to the shopping center. This whole middle part of the U-shaped building is completely fenced off. You can only get access via the key or security there at the door. There's no way to come in from any of the other entrances. You can see how close the shopping center is from here. And this play area, now of course this is a very new building, so it's going to take a few years for the trees to grow up and create a bit more shade. You can see the creeping vines coming over this first part of the play area. Now where we're going to eventually go is up on the 15th level of this part of the building. There is a few kids playing in the different parts of the park here, so I will be very respectful to the kids and the mothers and family here. But this is pretty neat, a nice big sand pit, and there's a slide, and there's even a little mini climbing wall. How nice is this? There is also a running track that runs around the whole play area, and this has got the recycled car tire rubber flooring, which is similar to athletic stadiums, so you can come and do some jogging if you like. And then coming through here. Now I'm going to say, if you come here in the evening, this is all lit up as well. It's a very beautiful spot just to come down here and hang out. And they've got these larger swings. And there's another second sandpit area. There's some metal tubes to climb through. And lots of things to keep the kids' minds occupied when they come down to play. There is this nice big playground equipment as well. And again, they've got this rubberized flooring. It's a bit hard to kind of make out, but if the kids fell off the playground, it's a no-hurt flooring is what they call it. Now, I'm sure the kids won't be too happy if they fell, but it's much safer than just falling onto some sort of a concrete or tarmac. There is a really cool half-court basketball ring here as well, which is nicely fenced off, so that you're not going to lose the basketball every time you miss a shot. I'm obviously pretty hopeless at any kind of sport, but the basketball ring. Now, most of the families that you see around today, there's not too many out, but they're a lot younger kids. So the things like basketball, maybe not something that they'll play just yet, but as they grow up. There is an outdoor gym here as well. Table tennis, and then this gym equipment. This is something also I'm very unfamiliar with. And what's interesting, on that middle part of the playground there, they've actually put a chalk wall so the kids can chalk away and draw things, and they can just wipe it off whenever they need to. But this outdoor gym is pretty neat. I wonder how many people recognize what this is. Of course, my shadow here just walking around. This is an arm wrestling platform, so you can challenge your neighbor to an arm wrestle. I think this is pretty neat. You don't see these very often in the parks. Even in Russia, you don't see them very often, but it's a pretty neat piece of equipment. You can see from this angle the running track. Also, lots of kids on their bicycles race around this as well. My wife's family's got a son, and he loves to come down here and play on his bike and ride around everywhere. Have a look at the building. Now, for me, there is a lot of beauty in seeing these large apartment buildings, especially the new ones, and all of the extra features that they've built in. This playground is fantastic. It doesn't even need the kids to come down with their parents if they don't want. They can come downstairs. It's completely sealed off. They can't go anywhere, and they can play at their own leisure. Also, if the half-court basketball wasn't enough, there's also a fully netted and enclosed full basketball court, and it also doubles as a five-a-side football pitch. I think that's what you'd play on these smaller ones. They've got the nets and the rings all set up and completely enclosed. You can see that background of the shopping center. And also, with this apartment being raised, you get a very nice view of Ufa from here, not only from your window of your apartment, but from just the general view of the whole city from the park. I hope you don't mind me spending a few extra minutes doing this walk around of all the different amenities of the building. I am going to head on upstairs now to the apartment. So if you haven't seen this part, maybe you skipped ahead and watched it immediately at the apartment. But I just thought it's very neat to see this playground and how nice everything is on the territory. Of course, this is a new building, but even if you go to some of the older buildings in different parts of Russia, they had playgrounds always built immediately next to the apartment block, so the kids and families can come downstairs and hang out and feel nice and safe and not have to go somewhere else to use a playground. So one of the conveniences of having the elevator going to all the different floors, so from the street level to the underground parking to the main courtyard, is you can just literally walk in, come around the corner, and all of the bank of elevators are here. And there's actually 3 regular ones and 1 freight elevator, which is bigger, so you can put things like furniture in and get it into your apartment. Coming out of the elevator on level 15, here's all the different apartment numbers. Now, if you're coming here for the first time, it can be a bit disorientating which way to go, because they've just got the numbers of all of the apartments. And we just need to go this way. So this is a very new building. So there is actually quite a few apartments that haven't been finished or moved in. And here we are, apartment 981. Now this place has recently been remodeled from when the apartment was purchased. So there is still a little bit of things to be done here and there. There is some cats as well. So we'll get to see some cats. Close the door behind me, and walking on inside, first thing you're going to see here is a nice big wardrobe. There is actually Wi-Fi in the apartment as well. That's the router up there. Now, I got lots of stick last time for showing the cupboards, but the point of these tours is to show you around and get an idea of the place. Of course, the important thing to do in a Russian apartment is you take your shoes off. That's absolutely polite to do that. This is actually one of our luggage, and the walls are all have wallpaper. There is actually a brick finish on this wall, which is really cool. It gives you the impression of that unrendered finish. Now, the actual apartment has 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, and then an open plan kitchen lounge room. So we'll walk around the kitchen first. This is very nice. Lots and lots of cupboards and lots of place to store things or maybe hide things, depending on how you look at it. We've got a watermelon here for later on in the evening. It's very warm here in Ufa, so you want some nice watermelon to just relax and snack on. So there's a dining room table right here. So this can be pulled out a little bit further so you can sit all the way around it with some more chairs. This is my computer setup. Of course, we're here for a few days visiting family here in Ufa. And this is the lounge room, and nice big TV on the wall. I've switched lots of lights on so it's nice and bright. Normally, while we've been here, we've not had so many lights on. Here's another one of the cats. They all want to be in the video. And this sofa here pulls out to a bed, so you can actually have another bed in the apartment while we're staying here. This is our abode right here. One more cat. It was an apartment tour, but you're also getting to see all the different cats in the house as well. And then there's the balcony right here. And this hasn't had the painting on the walls done. A lot of times when people finish the apartments, there's always little bits to do here and there. That's completely normal, completely understandable. There's some of the cabinets, and there's a view down to the garden. We'll actually have a good look at that as well. And you can see some of the other apartments. So we're actually up here on the 15th level, which gives a nice view out over the courtyard area. This is a nice big kitchen dining room area. So the total area of this apartment is 50 square meters. None of the walls were changed in the construction, so this was exactly how it was handed over, and then all of the finishings were done. All of the ceilings were put in. I left a couple of hallway lights off, but that's okay. So this is the main bedroom, or master bedroom as we call them in Australia, and plenty of space here. And there's some bespoke cabinets. I was trying to explain the word bespoke to my wife's cousin, but they were custom made for this exact corner here. So there's wardrobes and storage. Let's have another look out over the courtyard from here. It's a little bit easier to see. And we can see down to the kids' play area, which is really, really big. And then the entire building is actually 25 levels. So there's lots of apartments. There's over 1,000 in this complex. Now, you can't hear too many kids playing now, but later on in the afternoon and evening, kids love that place downstairs. And then just walking around. So technically this actually was meant to be 2 bathrooms. So what they've done is, instead of having this as a toilet and place where you'd have the washing machine and a small basin, they're going to make this into storage here. There was a plan to make it into a small little mini office, but they're going to do storage and do some shelves, which is always important in apartments. One of the cats is following me around. He's wondering what we're doing, making the tour. So we'll actually show the bathroom here. So ideally, the toilet would be in the other smaller room just next to this. And the same with the washing machine. Then you could actually make the bathroom a little bit bigger. But I think as it is, it's perfectly fine. And there's the bath shower combo right there. And I like how they've done this cupboards, and then the washing machine and the sink all built in. They've really thought out the extra storage space. It's also the bathroom for the cats. So yeah, lots of nice tiling in the bathroom too. And my wife's cousin has a young son. So this is his bedroom. Pretty sure the bedrooms feel about the same size, but maybe this is a tiny bit smaller, but I guess just the way you kind of walk around. He's got this nice kind of bunk bed, and there's a bit of extra stuff in here from when they finished the remodeling. They've literally moved in a couple of months ago, so, and all these little bits and pieces. And again, he's got a nice desk right here, and these cupboards, and we can see again out the window downstairs, and the apartments that wrap around. It's a U-shaped building. It's a bit hard to see from downstairs, but from up here it's very noticeable. I love his wallpaper with the cars. How neat is that? And he's also got this indoor climbing frame, or jungle gym. Is that what they call jungle gyms? You see these sometimes in the hallways of apartments, and then different apartments can use the same one, but they've got it here combined together. So what do you think so far from walking around? I love all the wallpaper everywhere. This is a very normal thing in Russian apartments. When the walls have been rendered and finished, rather than painting them, literally they all just get wallpapered, and it's an easier way to finish the walls off, and it also hides any imperfections in the plastering. And then these are called stretch ceilings. So there's a recess of about 10 or so centimeters from the top of the ceiling to where the actual ceiling finishes here. It's a bit hard to explain. They're called stretch ceilings. And then the doorway where we came in. So what do you think, everybody, to this apartment? 50 square meters. Very nice for a husband and wife and son like it is here. Of course, we're staying for a few days, so there's a few more of us. And there is actually 4 cats in total here. There was 3 until yesterday, but 1 more made its way home. So yeah, lots of space. I really do like this open plan. Our apartment back in Moscow region also has this kitchen lounge room open plan as well. I like the way it's sort of set up, and then with the separate bedrooms, gives you lots of places to kind of close the door behind. It's actually the next day now, and as you can see, the clouds have come over. It's not as beautiful and sunny as it was yesterday, and I just thought I'd talk about the apartment and what we saw on the walk around. Obviously the coolest part for me was the fact there was a shopping center within walking distance. There's lots of small shops all around the apartment as well. And of course, I think a lot of people, especially families with kids, would appreciate the playground and how neat the playground was, and the fact that it's fenced in and secure and gated, so the kids can have hours and hours of fun. Now, if you're curious about the price, it was originally purchased for 5.5 million rubles. Now, I'm going to put up here for you a price conversion so you can get an idea of the prices in different currencies and how it may weigh up against something where you live in the world. Maybe in the comments you can let me know what you think a 50 square meter 1 or 2 room apartment is. Now in Russia they call them 2-room apartments. In most places in the world they call them 2-bedroom apartments, but that's just how they word it here in Russia. But the fact that it had 2 separate bedrooms, one for the parents, one for a child, then there's also that separate bathroom, and then the closet or storage area, the open plan kitchen and lounge room I liked. It was a really nice apartment, 50 square meters, 5.5 million rubles. I think it was a great buy at the time that they purchased it. So what did you think, everybody? Let me know in the comments. Now, I have done a few other apartment tours on the channel, and I really want to keep doing them. So if anybody has an apartment either in Ufa, if I can get back here again to make more videos. Of course, my wife's family's from here, so it's super easy for us to come and visit. Or also in Moscow, when I get back to Moscow, I'd love to make more videos and more apartment tours, and different types of apartments, different sizes, and in different parts of Moscow or Moscow region. I live around about 50 kilometers from the center of Moscow, so I'm not in the main kind of business hub of Moscow. I'm out in the suburbs. Thanks everybody for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget also, I have a Telegram channel. So if you'd like to follow me on Telegram, I've got the link in the description. You're more than welcome to join that channel. There is also a very active chat as well, with over 400 people in there chatting on a daily basis. So if you'd like to join that, please go ahead and I'll look for you in the chat on Telegram. Now, I put another video for you to watch after this one. You can watch another apartment tour perhaps. I'll put one up on the card right here so you can see an older video on the channel. And I really want to thank everybody for watching Traveling with Russell. We're now over 100,000 subscribers and we're only going to grow from here. So I'm off on another adventure. Bye everybody.